Hi, I'm Victor Agreda Jr. with the Unofficial Apple Weblog, and we are here with MacTech magazine and this week at WWDC 2011. And we are talking to developers, and right now I'm actually talking to Peter Skinner with 10-1 Design, who we actually saw these guys at Macworld, and we checked out what you guys have. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you guys have, what your product is.
Sure, yeah. We make a product called Fling. It's a game controller, and it snaps onto your iPad, and it lets you touch the controls in your iPad. And it's really great for sports games and first-person shooters where you may suffer from not being able to feel the controls, and your thumb may shift off the control. But what we've been able to do is give you a really great analog joystick feel. So if you've ever played these type of games on the console where you have an analog joystick and you have all kinds of intense control, we're able to bring that experience to the iPad. And so that's Fling. That's the game controller for iPad, and it's a pretty cool product. It's been a wonderful product for us. We were able to win the Macworld Best of Show Award, which was just awesome, and had a great reception. We couldn't make them fast enough, and now they're sold in the Apple stores, the Apple retail stores as well. So it's been a fantastic product, and actually this week, today, E3, the show floor opens, and this is the official launch of a new product for us called Fling Mini. And what that is just bringing that Fling experience from the larger iPad form factor down to smartphones, so iPhones or even iPod Touches.
You got one right there?
I do, yeah. I've got one right here. It's mounted on my phone. It's smaller, but it has the exact same feel of the larger version of Fling.
And this is great because you guys, first of all, when we first saw you guys, I mean, people look at this and they'll think, oh, well, that's gimmicky or whatever. But it is a big complaint with the iPhone. I mean, the original iPhone, people complained about not having a tactile keyboard, right? And then with the iPad, it's like, oh, it's bigger, but still, we don't have that tactile feedback that we're used to. And same thing happened to me. My finger would drift over. Next thing you know, your guy's like standing still, and you're like, why am I getting eaten by zombies? So this thing, I think the design on this is really brilliant, because I reviewed the Joystick It from Think Geek, and that thing is it tries to re-simulate, tries to just take the original joystick idea and sort of graft it onto the iPad, whereas these guys have taken the idea of what you want to do and then designed to simulate that experience as opposed to just trying to make it look like a joystick and slap it onto an iPad. So what's amazing about this thing is that it provides just enough resistance, it provides that same sort of feel that you would get from an analog controller, but it just suction cups onto your iPhone or your iPad with the original one, and it's really, really cool. What are those retail for? The iPhone version?
You get a pair. They're actually a little cheaper for the iPhone, so that's cool. You get a pair of them, so you have like a dual stick thing, a left and a right, for $24.95. So they're a lot of fun to use.
And that's as much as one joystick it costs, just so everybody knows. Yeah, I know.
Wow, you are all over that.
It's quite a burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how much is the iPad version?
$29.95 for the pair.
Not bad, not bad at all. So let's talk about the keynote. Of course, there were no hardware announcements.
No.
So you don't have to redesign the Fling now because we know no new iPhone just yet. Yeah, it's going to be like that big, you know, and it'll be like the Fling Macro or the Fling Nano.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. But the other stuff, the software stuff, I mean, just you personally, what do you think?
Oh, there's some really cool stuff there. The stuff with iCloud, you know, you automatically think, does this mean that I don't have to use Dropbox as much, you know? And I just love the idea of having the freedom to access my music or my, you know, my apps from any device. So that's really cool. Yeah, a little disappointing with the hardware. I wanted something to hold, something to come away with, but I guess we have to wait a little bit.
Time capsule and brushed aluminum or something. Maybe.
Yeah, personalized with my name on it.
That's right. You can get it engraved.
Yeah.
So anything else? I mean, where do you guys see? Because you said you've launched this E3 this week. I mean, it seems interesting that Apple, for many years, sort of pushed gaming to the side, but with iPhone, iOS, and iPad, gaming has become a really, really important thing for them.
It sure has.
So where do you see this going? I mean, what happens if Apple puts in a tactile interface?
Oh, well...
Two separate questions,
hey,
maybe, but
that's a good question. Who knows? I guess we'll see what happens there. But there's something that was mentioned in another session, which was really cool, and I can't talk about it because of the NDA. But I can talk about an article I saw on the internet that said, hey, Apple is allowing games to stream from the iPhone and iPad to Apple
mirroring,
TV.
Right? Yeah.
Right. So they're allowing the controller to be, handheld, and the game doesn't even display in the handheld controller, but the game displays, on the large television.
Yep.
And the article that I read said, hey, is this like a console now? What's going on there? And I guess in some ways we like to think of, maybe you could think of it as a console, $100 console for grabbing the Apple TV, and $125 console if you want to have some really great controls with the game that you're playing. Just grab a Fling Mini and stick it on there.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting opportunity for Apple, and there may be some issues with latency between button presses and what you see on the screen. But that may be one direction that the future of their gaming, where they're targeting gaming to go in the future for them.
Well, if anyone has ever played The Incident with an iPad, like I've done the iPad, plug it into my TV, and use my iPhone as a controller, I have to say that is too much fun. I mean, it is really too cool to be able to do that. And it reminds me of the first time I played the Wii, or the first time I played the Kinect, where it's like, you're using this thing as a controller, and it just seems so like, this is logical. This is the way this thing should be. So I think that we may see that play out in some interesting ways. And of course, I don't know, did you see the Nintendo announcements from today?
I sure did. That's a really cool looking device.
Right. But we're going to see,
there's a lot of similarities there if you think about it.
Absolutely.
I guess I'd like to see them hold up and do virtual VR enhancements on the TV.
Augmented reality. Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be sweet.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe an app can do that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Developer challenge.
That's right. There we go. You heard it here.
So, there's a $1,000 prize.
That's right.
Not
all right.
me, from you.
Yeah. Peter, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
All right. I'm Victor Agreda with the Unofficial Apple Weblog, here with MacTech Magazine at Worldwide Developer Conference 2011. Thanks for watching.